Good evening, members of Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. How's everybody doing this evening? I hope everybody is doing great. As for me, I'm just hanging in there, brothers and sisters, trying to stay active. I've been recuperating from when I went out there to the woods last time. I'm doing better. But I still have some pain, a little bit of pain, not as bad. Last week I was able to go out dancing for the first time in about 3 months since I haven't been feeling well. From when I went out there into the woods, when something in disembodied form or dimensional form jumped on me on my back, that it weighed me down, that it took a lot out of me, so I've been fighting for my health, trying to heal, because I guess they're saying when you go through something, you have to be there to experience it, or you got to see it to believe it. When you go through something like this, it's something that takes a lot out of you. Even though I was spiritually prepared, that time, there was many of them, so it's kind of like it was like you could say an ambush, a spiritual ambush. When I went this past time around, because I went back to show whatever's out there, whether they're from this dimension, from a different dimension, from the hell realm, from a different timeline, or where there's no time, where the timelines crisscross, went to make a spiritual stance to let them know that I wasn't afraid of them, That's why I went out there to the woods like about a week ago, in which I captured the pictures to prove that there is a timeline crisscrossing of timelines, in which some of the photos, I still have got some more photos that I haven't placed. I want to place another one. It looks like there's something there standing looking at me. But what happened is the timelines crisscrossed, in which certain time scenes, or like, you're recording something that crisscrossed each other. Like something that happened maybe 10 seconds ago, crisscrossed with something that happened maybe 5 to 7 seconds in front of that. So they crisscrossed, in one of them that I placed, one of the photos, you could see the ground, you could see the trees, and then in the center, you could see the sky with a whole different picture in there. That's the kind of disturbance that I get when I go out there and investigate, which is different time frames of a picture crisscrossing with each other, in which there's no way this should even happen, but it's been happening. Like I said, I got 2 more photos I haven't placed yet, in which in one of them, you can literally see something standing right in the center looking at me. I hadn't placed yet because I was just trying to share 2 of the photos so people could see what I'm talking about. This timeline crisscrossing each other. Y'all know, as I'm spiritually blessed with the spiritual gift of discernment. How you doing, Sister Dawn? That I may be able to see things that's to come, and this is something that was shown to me a long time ago. Was in some kind of way in this nature. It's kind of like you could say timeline. How should I say it? Timeline ruptures, or timelines opening up. And when they were opening up, what I witnessed, there was opening up gaps in the timeline, in which people were getting taken into those gaps of the timeline into a different dimension. And this timeline gaps were opening up everywhere. So I don't know if I was seeing something that's to come, or things of how people have disappeared from Earth through this timeline gaps, that they were taken into a different dimension, which is possible since we have so many missing people. Or Was it something that I was witnessing that's going to happen? A spiritual war, a different kind of spiritual war, but it's dealing with this dimensional openings or timeline gaps where there's an opening and they take you through those dimensions. That's why I want to talk to y'all about this. Is that we have to be spiritual ready. We have to maintain our love foundations. We cannot be afraid when we're entering an area. We have to prepare ourselves spiritually when we enter the areas that we go investigate, or not just where we go investigate. We just have to be ready at all times. Spread some of this Palo Santo. But as y'all can see within the picture, I believe when you say something, you got to show something. Well, I'm showing y'all of what I'm speaking of, because I've been speaking of this for a while now. I've showed y'all the DDN, the surface up. I've shown you where these timelines crisscross each other, which that's no way possible if you're recording it for something to crisscross that way. Not unless I'm entering a different, entering a dimension or a portal or a time gap, that those things are happening in nature, in which when you enter something like that, there's no time. So I want to talk about the after effects of what I feel when I enter these areas and the things happen to my camera, and when I leave that area, how I'm feeling. I believe this is for everybody to know. That's why I want to share this with y'all. Is when I'm in the area and things are happening, I'm hearing disembodied voices. At times I hear a bunch of whistles of different birds whistling around me, in which there's no way there could be that many birds, but they can mimic different sounds. Hear movements, my senses kick in, my hair stand up. So I'm looking around, but then I have to sense spiritually. But when my hair stand up, I'm recording, and as I'm recording, I'm trying to capture something, I lose my connection, right? It says that I lost the connection. And then as I move back a little bit and I'm looking around to see what's making the noises that are around me or making the disembodied sounds around me, I get my connection back. So I'm still recording as I'm speaking to whatever's there. Sometimes when you don't see me, when I lose a connection, I go into prayer. I go into prayer, start praying the Our Father, or I start tie binding, rebuking in Jesus Christ's name. As I'm doing that, all these things are happening around me. Then time comes back. Well, when I get my connection back, I'm letting you know what happened, and then boom, the same thing happens again. Well, and then when I lose the connection, that's when they attack sometimes, and that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to attack me through all my spiritual senses. They was trying to get me to see. They was trying to attack me through my nostril, through my mouth, through my ears. They like attacking through the ears a lot, which affects your eyes, your tear ducts. I was feeling air going into my ears, like they were trying to go in through my ears. So I kept on binding, rebuking them in Jesus Christ's name. When I was out there, I want to talk about the effects that I have after an investigation. I still have to walk. Where I'm at, I'm probably like half a mile in. So after I go through what I'll go through after the recording, I still have to make my way back out of the woods. So I walk myself back. I'm not feeling well. Sometimes they let you know they're around. Whether you're hearing the disembodied voices, the whispers in the ear, you might see movement with your eyes, or your senses kick in. As I'm walking out, sometimes I feel like stabbing sensations, like I'm getting poked with needles in the legs. So I keep on praying within myself, and I stay spiritually alert. As I'm walking out of the woods, I pray before I go out of the woods, and I take authority over whatever's there, and I say for that it's not allowed to follow me home. But the effects that I have after doing an investigation, it's pretty hectic because some of the things that happened to me, and I want to share this with y'all. How you doing, Sister Madeline? Um, we've got Sister Dawn and cousin Jesus. Some of the things that happened to me afterwards is when you make contact or you cross paths with something of the unseen, of the unknown, there's certain things that happen. Like what happens to me is when they get close to me and they make contact with me, I'm sense and I'm see spiritually when I go to sleep what make contact with me. You know, they show themselves to me in my dreams as I sleep. You know what? Because I brushed against it, so maybe I'm able to identify what I crossed paths with. Another thing that happens to me is I feel like as my energy is drained. Last time that I made the video, I got home, you know, I did my little prayer, sat down on the couch, and I was out. I was out for about 2 hours because, like I said, they tried to drain your energy. So I'm just glad that I made it back to my couch, or to at least sit down in my home, than me getting my energy drained and zapped out there and wake up in the middle of in the woods 2 hours later in the darkness. That's why I have to be more cautious when I do go out there. But as soon as I sat down on the couch, I was out for 2 hours. You know, it's kind of like I woke up, my energy was drained. You know, you get side effects from when either you make contact with these unseen forces, or you enter this time gaps, timelines that crisscross each other. It takes energy out of you. You know. That's just some of the things that happen to me. The other things that happen is it's kind of like trying to come back to reality, you know. 'Cause it's kind of like, how you doing, Sister Jackie? Welcome. It's kind of like the first time that when you make contact, man, something just threw me off of what I was going to say right now. But what happened is kind of like you lose a track of time, right? As you lose a track of time, that means that your reaction time to responding to somebody or reacting to something because you're entering a time gap is off. So I felt when I left this time around that my time gap was off. Like, for example, if my wife was asking me something, I couldn't respond to her in time. It would take me 6-7 seconds by the time I said something back to her. And when I went out dancing with her, same thing. I was out there dancing with her, but it felt like I was off by 6-7 seconds. Something didn't seem right. And when we got home, I just told her what was happening to me, what I felt. And she said, I was trying to figure out what was wrong with you when we were out there trying to dance. It felt like you wasn't on your step, like you were off. But I believe what threw off my time is kind of like I'm off by 6 seconds. You know, I was off by like 6-7 seconds from my time from reacting to something. You know, I love to dance, so I know how to dance, but I couldn't even do that when I went out there. I noticed that there was like a 6-second, 7-second delay on my on my reaction time. So I was like, how can that be? You know, I'm here in the present, and my reaction time for me dancing, my step is off, everything is off. It's kind of like when I entered that timeline gap or that portal, it threw everything off of my regular time. So, you know, I was talking to my wife about it, and I said, I've seen that. Like you're acting different. You know, I asked you something, and then you asked me, well, what did I say when I told you like 3 times of what I said? You know, so she noticed that. You know, but those some of the side effects that you have. How you doing, Sister Katie? And a happy holidays and a happy New Year to everybody that's here. I noticed that, so I said to myself, what can I do to get back 6 seconds, 6 to 7 seconds, or possibly more. I'm just estimating the 6 seconds, but it could be longer than 6 seconds that my time is off. Like, to react is off. So I thought about it. So I went into training. I said, you know what? I'm going to focus on a point, work out from focusing in on a certain point on the wall, and try to get back the 8 seconds, 9 seconds, 10 seconds reaction time that I've lost. So that's what I've been working on. That's why you haven't seen me really been doing that many videos, because it felt like to me that my time was off, my reaction time was off. But I believe right now is almost back to normal. But it's kind of scary, you know. The reason I say it's kind of scary, brothers and sisters, is because when somebody loses their life, right? When somebody loses their life, you can't go back 8 seconds to save them. Time just goes forward. But I'm wondering if there is a time gap of that kind of sort that has no time, that if we're able to go back and save somebody from a situation, because there's no time in this time gaps or time bubbles, there's no time there, that we're able, if we're still there at a location, that we're able to react. Even if you got 6 seconds or 7 seconds, you're able to react to save somebody's life, you know. And that's what this is about, you know. What I'm speaking about is that in those areas where there's no time, anything can happen. Imagine, okay, if you're lost a track of time and you're off by 10 seconds from regular time, or the time gap affected you different, or the timeline where it crosses, and you're 10 seconds in front of everybody. So if you're 10 seconds in front of everybody, you're able to react. Either way, you can still make a difference because you're not within the regular timeline. So if you're 10 seconds in front of everything that's happened here normal, you're able to react with those 10 seconds to make a little bit of a difference. If you're in a situation that maybe you already seen happen, that you're able to react to it. But at the same time, looking at backwards, if you're 10 seconds off, it'll be harder for you to react, because what's going to happen ahead of you, it's already happened, you know. And that's the thing that's been happening to me. That's why I haven't made no videos in a while, is because I've been having the effect of that. And that's from going into these areas where time crosses with, and things are mixed up within those timelines. There's no time. There could be 2-3 different pictures stuck in one picture, you know, and it crosses all the timelines where there's no time. Well, I've been having the effects of that, you know, where I was off by 10 seconds. You know, I noticed it last week when I went dancing with my wife. You know, I was off, you know, and I was trying to concentrate, and I was like trying to catch up to those 10 seconds, you know, trying to get back in the groove of things, of dancing. Imagine being off 10 seconds. That's a lot of steps to be off, that anything can happen on the dance floor, you know. You can slip, you can fall. If you lost the track of time because you entered a timeline where there's no time, it just throws you off, you know. So this week I'll be focusing on catching back to my regular timeline, right? Which I believe I have by the workouts and by focusing on a certain point. All I'm saying is that there is effects, brothers and sisters, real bad side effects that do happen when you either cross with the DDN or the paranormal, or you're going into a crossing of timelines where there's no time. It's like a time gap, you know, like a rip in the timeline. You're entering it, you're there, your phone goes crazy, It catches all kinds of crazy pictures because there's no time there. And then when you get out of that the rip, your phone's working normal, and when you look at your footage, at your videos, you're seeing all this kind of crazy pictures in there because you entered a time rip of the timeline where there's no time. And I believe, of what I witnessed, that there's whether they're DDN or they're dimensional timeline beings. That's what I'm thinking of. That they have the ability to take people in through those timelines. If they can deceive them, they can take them through those portals or those timeline gaps. Take them, and I believe that's what I witnessed. Y'all seen some of the picture. I got some stairs. I got another picture I haven't placed. I'm gonna place it. I'm gonna place 2 pictures this evening after I do this live feed that I have. There, it's creepy, but it's just imagine that you're going into a timeline gap where there's no time, in which it mixes. If there's no time, the past and the present can get mixed up in one, or there's 3 different sceneries of a different timeline, different time sceneries within a gap mixed up in one picture. And that's what I have is of that, where I entered a timeline gap and I've been feeling the side effects of it. It's not good. Now that I know what's kind of out there, it's like, I don't know if I want to press the luck and going out there, and I go prepared when I go, but it is kind of this past time around. I mean, this was the big time people that they show me their presence. They show me how many there were, but I wasn't able to capture everything because of the interference they were causing within the timeline gap, in which I lost connection numerous times. That they interfered in me to be able to capture everything within the timeline gap where there's no time, but I still managed to capture something. Like I said, I got 2 other pictures that I wanted to place after I do this video. How you doing, Sister Katie? How you doing, Brother Carlito? That I'm going to place, and one of them, I mean, you can see there's something standing right in front of me, and it's mixed up, like I said, of other pictures within the picture, but you can literally see something standing in front of me looking at me. And I haven't placed that one yet because I don't want people to freak out. But it's literally looking at me. It was pretty big. I don't know what it is, but it's looking straight at me, and it's in the middle of the path that I was on when the interference happened of entering that timeline gap where there's no time. And I believe that's why the pictures come out distorted the way they do, because there's no time there, in which there's no time. It's like when there's no time, there's moments, scenery, moments and scenes that happen, and they're just all mixed up with that one screenshot, that I took, and it's freaked out because it's like three pictures in one, 4 pictures in one. Where there's no time. And I believe there's a lot of those time gaps. I don't think just here. I believe they're everywhere. When we hear stories about how did the Mayans disappear, or how did the Egyptians disappear back in the day, you got to think about those time gaps. Is it possible that a time gap in which it opens up different gaps, people were being taken when there was a catastrophic event happening, where they're taken through timeline portals to save those individuals, where they taken to a different dimension through these time gaps. That's just my theory, because it's things, man. I'm telling you, they could speak. They'll whisper in your ear. They'll make their presence known. They'll make movement all around you, and there's many of them. It's just sometimes when they don't want to be seen, you cannot see them through your naked eye, but you can sense them if you if you meditate, for example, or you blindfold your eyes and train your senses at nighttime, shut off the light and listen to what's around you, sense what's around you, you can train yourself to be that way. That's what I use to be able to sense what's around me. But it was kind of like messing with me in a way that they were making fun of me because I was trying to record to capture what's there, but they interfered in my connection, so you wouldn't be able to see what was there. So they kept on doing that. I think they did that like 3 or 4 times. Within that time, I was in the timeline gap that they interfered 4 times or 5 times, and then they follow me out of there, out of that timeline gap. But I would still manage to capture some images. That's why the pictures look distorted. It's not a picture. That's the thing. It's not a potato camera. It's a screenshot of a live video. That's what actually it is. A screenshot of a live video entering in a timeline gap or a crisscross of time where there's no time. And that's why the picture looks the way it looks like. And if y'all notice in some of my short reels, if you really want to look back to my short reels, you can see where some of these beings that are moving real fast are coming out of certain timeline gaps, because the same imagery of what I capture in the screenshots, I capture in my short reels where these beings are moving and they're causing like they're coming from a different timeline gap or a different dimension, right? And they cause the same kind of pixelation or activity that's within where the timeline gap where there's no time. It causes the same kind of effect in the short reels. If you look at my short reels, you'll be able to see the connection between the short reels to those pictures, those screenshots that I took, that I placed on Spiritual Encrypted account that is connected. That's evidence to me that they're coming from the same source. I believe there's one where you can see something moving right in front of me. A couple of them on my short reel, so they're moving something's moving real fast in front of me, and you can see where there's some kind of pixelation, like they're coming out of a different timeline gap, and it causes some kind of distortion. But it's the short reels that I got where there's something moving real fast. Where I believe there's no time. Same thing with the pictures, the screenshots. I have the evidence. If you look at the short reels and the screenshots, you can see it's coming from the same source. But that's what I wanted to talk about. I've been wanting to talk about this. It just I wasn't up to it, guys. You know, I was feeling how should I say, drained. I was feeling like trying to get back. I felt like I lost 10 seconds. Imagine, I don't know if it's possible, but maybe you can age faster. Imagine getting trapped in one of those timelines where time moves ahead and it moves ahead by years. And when you come out of there, you're not off 10 seconds. You're off years, and you might be older than what you are. Or if you go into one of those timeline gaps, you're going to be younger than what you really are. So it's kind of scary thinking about something like that, but I know it affected me for about 10 seconds. I'm saying 10 seconds, but most likely it was probably like 20 seconds or 30 seconds. But I'm saying 10 seconds, but that's how I felt. Oh yes, I've been working out, trying to stay positive thinking, placing the Heavenly Father first. But I've been focusing on the events that have happened to me, that I really don't talk too much about to anybody because I felt that it wasn't the right time. So I only placed a couple of pictures just so people could see what I experienced. If you've seen the one I placed yesterday, you can see the picture where you can see the ground and you can see the trees. But then in the center, you can see the sky and a whole different area where That's the area that I was telling you about where there was no time. You know, when people talk about when people talk about the land between the lakes, you know, and it's dealing with the time, you think about it. If there's beings coming from a certain area like that can control time, you know, where they're surfacing up now. You know, I believe we're all awakening spiritually, and certain things are happening. You know, I guess it depends on to how spiritually grounded you are, how connected you are to Jesus Christ. But I'm being shown this thing so I can share with y'all. You know, at times it feels like they don't want me to share what I'm seeing, but I believe I have to share what I'm seeing with y'all, so y'all can be aware of this. You know, that's it's not good if it can affect you in that nature, where you lose 10 seconds of time, and then it feels like your world just goes upside down, just like in the picture. So it takes you a while, it takes you days just to try to come back into regular time. You know, how do you get back 10 seconds that you feel that you've lost? You know, maybe that brought me back to reality. Maybe I was already off and I didn't know, because I had entered there before when I got jumped on my neck area. Maybe I was thrown off of time back then, and when I went back into it, I came back to reality, in which I am feeling a lot better right now. I was able to work out, and I'm able to talk to you all about this freely without me even trying to think hard. But I feel like I had lost a track of time, you know, that I was off. Kind of, you know, when you're off 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, your reaction time, I'm talking about reaction time, you know, like, somebody asks you a question and you can react to it. I've felt like this before, brothers and sisters. And the other place that I felt where I lost a track of time was in Elms Grove, in the woods. When I was walking with my groceries, cutting through that path where I had the encounter of the sixth dogman or disembodied demonic Nephilim. I was cutting there during the day with my groceries, and I don't remember nothing. I don't know how long time passed, but there was a young gentleman that found me in the woods, and he was coming from school. I don't know what time it was. I don't know. He helped me up, and every time I took 2 or 3 steps, I fell down. It took me like almost an hour just to make it home, and home was probably like maybe 100 yards, and I had no energy. So something zapped me in Elms Grove, and maybe I entered one of those timeline gaps, and it just zapped all my energy. Well, that's what I felt when I went. Happened to me when I went here to this area in Temple, where I lost the track of time. It sounds, how should I say? It sounds crazy, but not too crazy for me, because I remember when that demon appeared when I was 16 years old. Something in the nature happened. My sister had messed with a Ouija board that she had bought at a garage sale. I was always going to work. I was working at Walmart, so I didn't know what was happening at home. All I know is my sister was addicted to this Ouija board made out of wood. It was real old, and it was saying a lot of bad things. So I grabbed that board and I burned it. 2 weeks passed by, and I'm outside with my friends, and as I'm talking to my friends, this guy passes on a bike, and he makes a howling sound, and the girls get scared that my friends that were out there. So he turned back around on his bike, and he says, "Who's scared here? Who's scared here?" And I told him, "Nobody's scared here," and he tells me to shut up. So he tells me to shut up. I look at my friends, and they're not blinking. They're like, it's kind of like time stopped. So I'm like in a time bubble. Since it was demonic, I'll just say like a time gap bubble it was like a spiritual war. So it's a time bubble around me where there's no time. The girls are not moving. I'm able to. The only thing I've never been able to figure out is this: they couldn't move, they couldn't speak, but I was able to move and I was able to speak against that demon, right? So that makes me feel that somewhere within my bloodline or something within me, spiritually, I have abilities, spiritual abilities, to do things that other people cannot do. So, I'm asking this guy that looks like a guy that went to school with me. What are you doing here? You need to leave. You're scaring my friends. He tells me to shut up, and he's mimicking me. Everything I do is mimicking me, trying to get me upset. I'm not trying to get upset. Then I asked him, "What are you doing here?" And he said, "I'm going to give you I'm going to give you a clue." He says, "Just because you put some holy water on me, you place a cross on me." Because that's exactly what I did. I put some holy water on the Ouija board. I placed a crucifix cross that I use for exorcisms, and I burned it with gasoline. See, that's because you place holy water, a crucifix on me, and burn me don't mean you're going to get rid of me. And the first thing I thought was about the Ouija board, but more of a demon. So as a car was passing by, like I said, I'm in this bubble. It feels like a bubble where there's no time because they're frozen. They can't move. So if they're not moving, if they can't move, there's no time, right? So as this car passed by, I see a car pass by, in the bubble I was in, and you could see a skull, right? A skull. You could see like a snake in the skull, and it looked at me, and he said, "I'm here for two reasons only." He said, "You already know the other path. So, but the path I want to show you, you could have anything in the world." And I said, "What do you mean anything in the world? You could be the richest man in the world, but you got to follow my path." That's what I was told. And I said, "Well, you already know what path I've already chosen." And I start praying the Our Father. As I pray the Our Father, my sister comes out, and she recognizes the guy too, who we think it is. And I told her she didn't know what's going on because she was inside, and he's trying to get her attention. So I'm praying and praying, and then she was like trying to figure out what was going on, and she was hearing me praying the Our Father. She come back and she's got the Bible in her hand, and she started reading verses out of the Bible. So I start praying, and she starts praying, and my sister was the one that the Ouija board had some kind of control over, and she started reading the verse out of the Bible. I started saying the Our Father, and he said, "I can't win right now because I was interrupted right now." It's like you don't want me to talk about this. It's interrupting again. Something's interrupting the feed because they don't want me to talk about this. I'm going to continue. So he said, this is what he said: "Right now I cannot win. But there's going to be a time when Jesus Christ is not going to be with you." Or he didn't say Jesus. He just, when he's not going to be there with you, but I'm going to be there. That's one of the reasons, brothers and sisters, that, what happened is when he left on the bike, not even 4 or 5 feet, you see a puff of white smoke. It smelled like sulfur, and the bike is gone, and the thing is gone. It's like it went into a different dimension, into a timeline gap, But he used the smoke screen so it wouldn't see where it went to. This happened. It's a true story. This happened where I used to live in Ramoville, Texas, in my old home. The only thing I can tell you is he couldn't win when I was praying the Our Father. It didn't want to show where it came from. It used a smoke screen, right? That smelled like sulfur. So I couldn't see where it went to. But I know for a fact that it said I cannot win. And the only reason I cannot win right now is because I was praying in true faith to Jesus Christ. That's one of the reasons I always tell everybody, and y'all know, always maintain a love foundation. Place Jesus Christ first. That's the only way we're going to be able to overcome anything evil that's coming from the hell realm, or anything that disguises itself. Trust me, this DDN, this demonic entities, if they can manifest to look like a human being, don't you think they have the ability to manifest to look like a Bigfoot, like a dogman, like a Mothman, like a reptilian, like a orb, like a UFO? They have those abilities, brothers and sisters. The other thing, the belief factor. Put it to the test. Don't believe actually what you're seeing. Put it to the test. Tie, bind, and rebuke it in Jesus Christ's name. And if it disappears, kind of like that person that manifested to look like somebody I knew and it disappeared in thin air, tie, bind, and rebuke it in Jesus Christ's name. Then you'll know if it's something that's what you think might be a cryptid, a UFO, or whatever. If it disappears when you tie, bind, and rebuke in Jesus Christ's name, then it's letting you know exactly who it is or what it is and where it's coming from. And I've been let know. I'm placed in situations where certain things manifest to me to look a certain way. Like what happened to me in the Elms Grove when it manifested to look like this werewolf-like creatures. When people want to call Dogman, Lycanthrope, DDN, I went into prayer. Saying the Our Father, I said the Our Father numerous times that I zoned them out so I wouldn't see how they looked. But I still seen them how I looked through my pearly vision and then looking down on me. But I maintained my faith. That's how I came out of there in one piece. I believe if I wouldn't have gone into prayer, Brother Abe Cias, Soren Cias wouldn't be here right now. If I wouldn't have gone into prayer, I wouldn't be here right now talking to y'all. There wouldn't be no positive spiritualists. There would be no spiritual encrypted encounters because I would be gone right now. But luckily, prayed to the Heavenly Father, and He listened to my prayer, and He came and assisted me spiritually. So I was able to make it out of there safely. If you think about it like this, if you protect your inner sanctum, your inner foundation with love, right, which is your spirit, then everything that's connected to the spirit is protected also. That's why I believe I come out of that area safely, because I just didn't protect my spirit. I protected the vessel, the body, through the prayer. That I was able to walk out of there safely. I'm just talking to you about this timeline gap, so things can happen. Things that can happen to you when this, this happens, is your battery might get drained, your energy might get drained spiritually. You're gonna be hearing things that's out of the ordinary, disembodied voices. You might hear different animals around you all at once, footsteps, something running around you. Your senses are going to get triggered where you're going to sense a lot of magnetic energy, or could be the timeline magnetic energy where it's crisscrossing. You're going to feel it's going to trigger your senses, in which you're going to sense all this, but at the same time, it's going to take some energy out of you when you cross something with something in that nature. But yes, how you doing, cousin Jesus? I see you still here, brother. I just want to make this quick video to talk about that. I'm doing a little bit better. Yes. Yes, I got another picture of those stairs. I got several pictures of those stairs, actually. If you see some of the pictures that are there, you can see stairs. I got one that I haven't placed. I want to probably place that one tonight, where you can see the trees. You see something standing in the middle by the trees, and on top of the trees, you can see from a black stair to white stairs. They're going up into the sky. It's kind of like a timeline gap, but without the black stairs, it goes over the trees. The stairs are going over the trees. So it's kind of like the crossing of time there, from regular time to the future and the past, all mixed up. I believe there's something in that nature going to happen. Imagine this: if the future and the past, the beginning of time and the end of time collided, what would happen? If the past and the future make contact, because they're saying that life is just going and going and going and going, and life is being created everywhere, right? But imagine if they collided, the past and the present. So there will be a mixture of a lot of things happening at once, right? I'm just putting that out there for those who want to think a little bit. What could happen if the timeline gaps of the beginning of time and the past, the alpha, the omega, collided? What could happen? That's how it feels like to me with the timeline gaps, where things just go out of whack. You're welcome, Sister Katie, and thank you for always being here as a friend. Been knowing you for a very long time. Yes, but I just wanted to make this quick video to talk about that. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is kind of like, I'm doing the spiritual works, and I'm going through what I'm going through. What I'm trying to stay away from is from the BS. From the BS of people that's happening, where people are picking on people and they're just going back and forth, back and forth. You're not going to win a fighting negativity with negativity. This plain and simple. The only thing that's going to do is affect both parties. And there's not going to be a winner. There's going to be losers, because fight negativity with negativity is not good. I suggest, if somebody's coming you in a negative way, forgive them and let them be, because you don't want the negativity to jump on you or rub off on you. It'll change your character. It'll change your demeanor. It'll change you as an individual, right? So that would be the best thing for anybody to do. I understand if somebody's talking bad about you or your family member, by all rights, say what you have to say. All I'm saying, from going through timeline gaps, fighting demonic forces, that's what they want. They want you to be upset. They want you to be angry. They want you to use negativity, because that's what they use. That's what they use to affect us as human beings, because they know that we're children of God and we have the opportunity to make it into the kingdom of heaven. So they're going to use anything in this arsenal to attack you, to see if they can find a spiritual opening. So don't be deceived by what's happening around you. Sometimes you just have to ignore things. Kind of like I knew what I was facing in Elms Grove was something very evil. But I ignored their appearance. I ignored how they look. I just didn't pay attention to them. Ignored them. And I played Jesus Christ first. And I was able to get out of there safely. But I see that, a lot of people say a lot of bad things about a lot of people. But then at the same time, I see where all of a sudden they're talking to each other like if nothing ever happened, which I would say it would be a good thing if they talked about it, they squash things. But if people are acting that they're a victim of something and they're acting, then it's not true. Which means that anything bad that was ever said was not really true. that it was all an act in which the people that are acting, they're going to get stuck in that storyline, or they're going to get stuck in the game plan of them just talking crap about each other because it's bringing in views or it's bringing in the viewers. That's not what Spiritual Encrypted is about. Spiritual Encrypted is not about acting for the viewers. Spiritual Encrypted Encounters is about helping out people that are being spiritually attacked, spiritually tormented. They want spiritual answers. That's what Spiritual Encrypted Encounters is about. And one of the things that I know that I'm doing now is not focusing on people saying negative things about Abraham Seals, because if they're feeding off of negative energies, then they're being bonded in some kind of way. The only way they can get out of that situation is by allowing Jesus Christ in the hearts, truly. So I'm not about that, and I've pushed myself away from all that drama. All the drama that I believe stops me from talking about the things that I've just spoke to y'all today. I'm not going to be focusing on drama, or should I say acting, on people that are acting that they're victims of something. God knows the truth, and God knows why. God knows why you do it, but acting is acting, you know. People can type something up and focus on the negativity. That's not what Spiritual Encrypted Encounters is. That's not what Positive Spiritually was about. I'm thinking I'm going to add, brothers and sisters, truthfully, where I got Spiritual Encrypted Encounters, I might add / Positive Spiritualist to it, because Positive Spiritualist has been the main foundation of why I started making the videos and taking the screenshots when I was going through what I was going through. I'm really thinking, I'm not sure yet, because I believe, you know, we all need positivity in our lives. But that was an initial name of my original group. I still have Positive Spiritualist. Positivity. If you think positive things will come. I was in a situation where I was surrounded by 6 lycanthrope, werewolves, dogman, demons, whatever you want to call them. And I chose not to give them power by believing in the images that I was seeing. I focused on the power of what's within me and my spiritual love foundation. I focused upon calling upon Jesus Christ, which is the creator, to come and assist me from the situation I was in which I'm still here speaking about it, because he helped me. And whatever was there dispersed, vanished, when the presence of the Heavenly Father, the heavenly angels, the Holy Spirits were around me. They vanished. How are you doing, Sister Michelle Power? Another thing, I've lost a loved one a long time ago when I was 15 years old to the unseen spiritual battle. You know, some people have lost loved ones in many different ways, but in essence, we're all connected when we lose a loved one. Because when we lose a loved one, we can't change back time. The loved one that we lost is not here amongst us no more. The only thing we have is memories of them. And time goes by slow. And then we have to heal from losing a loved one. We have to heal. But we gain wisdom and knowledge from the healing process. We get to know that our loved ones really are not truly 100% gone. They might be gone in the flesh, but our loved ones are around us in spirit. They're around us in spirit, and the tie to that goes to anybody that has lost a loved one. The tie for our loved ones what is connected for our loved ones to be around us? Our love foundation, the love we had for one another. Our spirits are connected. It's a forever bond. We're connected forever because we shared a love foundation. We share love to one another. So the spirit of my mother has been connected to me since the day I lost her. She's always been with me. She's gone everywhere with me in spirit because I sense her and I feel her. Just like I know that most of y'all, that somebody that's lost a loved one senses and feels your loved one spiritually because they're around us. So we're supposed to pay honor and homage to them. No, you can look at the picture, whatever, your spirit will guide you, let you know what it is, what it could be. If you really want to make a connection with your loved one, Sister Michelle, is place a white candle. This is my suggestion to you. I've done it and it's worked for me. Pay homage to him. Place a white candle. Light it up. Say a little prayer. Place a picture of your loved one right beside the white candle. You will get spiritual results because they will contact you in spirit because that white candle is going to be the light, right? The connection that's going to connect you to the spirit of your loved one. They'll surface up and they're going to show you things and they're going to let you know that they're okay, that they've crossed over, that they're okay, not to worry about them. They're going to show you in their own kind of way. You might not be able to respond, but they're going to show you through pictures, right? That they're okay. That's what they do. That's when you're going to know that your loved one is around you in spirit. Just like there's times that I've been in locations where I'm in certain situations and the spirit of my mother shows up where I'm at, where there could be danger, but the spiritual and I can sense her. But anyways, I hope that helps you. What I'm just saying, I like places in Palo Santo to clear the area, the space around me. Palo Santo. Some people use sage. Buy yourself a piece of selenite. 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 That's another way that a guardian angel, a spirit, or a loved one can make connection with you through selenite. Selenite is kind of like the closest thing to make it into heaven because the spirit, the angels and guardian angels, they surface up because they use that selenite for energy to surface up. So I keep selenite in my home. I got some in my window frames, and all throughout my house. I keep selenite, and it's a protector stone. Selenite. I carry black tourmaline around my neck. Right here, I got black tourmaline also. The selenite, and I just got this little amethyst pendant with rainbows around my neck. But everything helps out. But the number thing that helps out is your faith. Is your love foundation, your faith. I know you have a lot of love to all the people that are around your Sister Michelle, just like your husband. Just like you love him, he loves you too. I know he's around you in spirit. I'm sensing something here. Normally I don't say things of what I'm saying, but I'm just seeing a picture. I don't know if you like this or what, but I'm seeing sand. I don't know if it's sand from the ocean because you like going to the ocean, or a walk on the beach. But I'm seeing sand right now. I don't know if that means something to you in any kind of way, shape, or form. Whether he like walking on the beach, he like searching for stuff on the beach, but I'm seeing sand. That's what I'm being shown right now. I'm not seeing no ocean, but I'm just seeing sand. Whatever the message is, I believe is towards you. But that's what I'm seeing, just sand. Yeah, the what I was reading in the sand, I could see some tracks. I don't know. I don't know if it was a Bradley or some kind of vehicle, a track like of a Bradley. I don't think it was a track of a tank. I think more of a Bradley. The track was smaller. I could see a track, a certain location where there's a track of a vehicle. I know it was a PC or a Bradley, but it's a track because I could see the track marks. But that's what he was showing to me spiritually. The tracks when a vehicle, a tank or a Bradley, they have the the tanks have tracks. Like I'm not footprints, tracks of a tank. Where they roll, and that's what I was seeing on the ground. But I believe he's letting me know that I think he knows, what happened. But he just letting me know to let you know that I think he was how should I say, he was all military. Like he really was into his job. So he's just showing me this area where I believe something happened. But just letting you know that whatever happened to him, he was just doing his job. I don't feel no sense anything kind of I'm not seeing anything negative. He just wants you to know that he was just doing his job, and he loved his job, just like he loves you, And but I believe he's just trying to let me know that he's around you in spirit. So I would suggest light up the white candle and place his picture beside it, so he can make personal connection with you, sister. There we go. He was a track mechanic. But that's what I was being shown by him. I believe his spirit. I have many abilities that people don't know. Sister Katie knew me from Light Workers of the World, Light Workers Life Feeds. So I believe where we originally met, where I was helping out people spiritually, but it kind of got overwhelming there at times because there was a lot of other people doing other things with cards and all kinds of stuff. I believe we it's within us, but we have to place Jesus Christ first in order for us to get spiritually blessed with a spiritual gift of discernment. You're welcome, Sister Michelle. That's no problem. I believe I had to share this, what I was being shown. Normally, I don't. If you see my video, I normally don't talk about things like that. But he was just letting me know that he's with you, basically. Look, my hairs are standing up right now. My hairs are standing up. I can feel a presence around me. It's not a bad presence. I'm just feeling a presence around me. It's like he's trying to say something else. They're being triggered big time in my arms. I don't know. Was he the type of person, the light? I feel like cold, like a shiver. I don't know. Did he like going snowing, or he liked the cold weather? I mean, that's what I'm sensing. That he's trying to let me know. Did he like cold weather of some sort? I don't know. I don't know if he was talking about a trip or something you're always supposed to do. But I'm feeling like cold weather. Like a location where, like a resort or something in that nature. Or he loved the heat. Yeah, maybe because in Iraq, Sister Michelle, it's not just hot. In Iraq, because I was in Iraq, uh, at nighttime it gets really really cold. At nighttime, like below zero. So you have to wear extreme cold weather at nighttime. As soon as the sun goes down, you better have your wet weather gear, your extreme cold weather gear on because it gets that hot. I mean, that cold at nighttime. Even our sleeping bags were for extreme cold weather when we were out there. Yes, freezing at night. Real cold weather. So then when the sun rises, it's still cold till like around 8 or 9. Then it starts getting hot, real hot. So it's hot for many hours, but then the sun goes down and it gets real cold. Maybe that's what he's letting me know. Nighttime, something that happened at nighttime, maybe that he's trying to tell me something happened at night. I'm not sure because that's the only time it gets cold in the desert is at night. So, but yes, sister, get yourself a white candle, place his picture by it, and pray. Pray what. There's some candles that have a little prayer. Pray the little prayer, and just speak to him through for the Heavenly Father to allow you to make a spiritual contact with your husband. Call for his name, and the Heavenly Father. When you play homage, he'll bless his spirit to make contact with you. I believe that 100%. I believe maybe that's what he's trying to tell me. Is at nighttime would be the best time to light it up when you go to sleep in your bedroom. Light it up, place a picture, and spiritually, I believe he'll make spiritual contact with you, spiritual when you sleep. But pray to the Heavenly Father for him to allow this to happen, and he will. You're welcome. But anyways, thank y'all for tuning in tonight. God bless every single one of y'all. I want to say a happy new year to everybody. I really didn't get to make a video for Christmas. So I'm happy saying happy New Year's to everybody here in Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. Those who follow me here on Facebook, those who follow me on TikTok. If you haven't, on YouTube, if you haven't followed me on YouTube, just subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so I can make lives over there. But I'm used to making the lives here the way I do because what I do, I like helping out people spiritually. So that's my mission, my spiritual mission. So I like doing the works the way I like doing them right now. But if I can get a bigger audience, a broader audience, if I can get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, then I'll be able to do that. But, I keep good people here in Spiritual Encrypted Encounters and Positive Spiritualists. I get rid of people that are not serious, like trolls. I get rid of them. But everybody else, I have good peoples here. Then you don't see nobody saying nothing negative towards anybody in any kind of ways, because we're all here open spiritually for spiritual guidance, spiritual help. At the same time, I created this group because I believe sharing is caring. Sharing your experience to someone will mean something to somebody that might be going through that, what you've been through. But yes, Happy New Year to everybody. Thank y'all. God bless y'all. I will keep everybody in prayer. Keep me in prayer so I can be able to do the spiritual works that I do. And I love every single one of y'all. Love y'all. You have a beautiful, blessed evening. Peace, everybody.